Hi guys, I'm Ella from Bands of Fans, and today we're going to be interviewing the band Goodbye Butterfly. So, firstly, would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Sure. So yeah, we are Goodbye Butterfly. We are a five-piece band from Melbourne. We write and we play what we call fairy rock. Um, it's just yeah, we've got two guitars, keys, drums, bass. We love bands like Mazzy Star, um, Brian Jonestown, a whole bunch of that. Yeah, we play fairy rock. But anyway, my name's Alice. I sing and I play guitar.
And
And
I'm Eve and I play bass. Woo! Yay.
So, what inspired you guys to make the band? Like, how did it start out and when did it start out?
it
Oh,
started,
good question.
yeah, it's a bit of a hodgepodgey kind of way that we came together, but I met our drummer Imi at a little band camp that I did when I was still in high school. And I thought she was really cool because she had this like Penny Lane coat, and I thought she was so cool. I'm like, I want to be friends with you. And she played drums, I sung, and I played guitar, and we just jammed together for a bit, and that was really fun. And then we're like, we want a band. So Imi had another friend that also played guitar, who is Matilda. So she joined, and then how did you come along, Eve?
Um, I worked at the same place as Emmy, and then we worked out through a friend at work that we lived on the same street and that she was in a band and they didn't have a bassist. And I was like, cool, my time to swoop on in and learn bass and get on in there. So that was my joining in. I came in after like maybe the first gig, so pr pretty much from the start, pretty much.
What coincidence that you
Yeah,
guys lived on the same street? That's so crazy.
I know. How weird is that? Very convenient though.
Yeah.
Very convenient for practices, that's for sure.
Not for me though. They all live in Upway,
Mm.
the most beautiful area ever, but I live so far away. But that was okay. It was my little outing. I loved it. I love it.
So have were you guys like coached or mentored? Like, were you taught like your skills, or were you just kind of self-taught?
Yeah, for myself, I did like violin since a really young age, and then I taught myself guitar from that. And then singing kind of just was something that came with that. And that was it. But I study like composing at university, so that's kind of helped me as well with songwriting.
Yeah, I have a similar, very similar thing to Alice. I think I started cello super young, and that's pretty much the only basis I had for my bass learning, which was good because it's the same sort of shtick because it's all bass. And then I taught myself bass, and yeah, through all of the orchestra experience, got onto the band scene, which is kind of fun. Yeah,
Okay, so
about it.
what would you guys be doing if you weren't artists?
I think
Ooh,
I honestly I can't imagine not being in the arts in some capacity, which is it's such a hard question. And I'm also like one of those people that'll try literally everything. So I don't know if I could pick one thing. I think I do film in uni, so it's still art, I guess, which doesn't really count. But I think English is also my thing. So maybe something there. I'm not sure. Not really sure. I haven't thought about it too much.
yeah. I know, like, I feel like I've wanted to be a musician for as long as I can remember. But I remember when I was really little, I wanted to either be a vet or a food critic. So maybe one of those.
Love that.
I feel like everyone wanted to be a vet when they were little. Even I had like that one phase where I was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna be a vet."
Yes.
Totally.
Yeah, I had a secret agent phase. I was like,
God, me too.
I'm the FBI. I
Me.
will
Oh
be
yeah.
the FBI. In the wrong country, but
Yeah,
oh
no,
well.
I think I used to be obsessed with those like littlest pet shop things. Did you ever have those? Like the
Yes.
little,
Yes.
yeah, I was like hyper fixated on them. And I think I just wanted to be a vet because of that. Like, but I don't know. That didn't work out. I failed like chemistry in and like all the sciences in
Re-
about year 10. So not gonna happen for me.
I literally used to be obsessed with Littlest Pet Shop. My friend used to be like a famous Littlest Pet Shop YouTuber. It was so weird. Like she like posted like she used to do this like those videos where they'd make music videos with them. Like she used to
Yes.
do those ones, and one of them like just popped off and got like 10,000 views, and we were like, what the hell? Like us being like 7-year-olds, like so confused.
That's the
That's
biggest
crazy.
flex at 7 years old. I
I
would not
know.
stop talking about it. I'd be at
I
school and I'd be like, yeah,
She
that's my
hides
friend.
it. She like hides it, and I talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
Oh my
Influence
God.
as like influencers.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
That's so cool. I love
So
it.
cool.
I was gonna ask, how do you guys balance your time in the studio, like with other commitments, such as like seeing friends and family? Because I know that like sometimes it could be hard in a band, like balancing all that stuff out.
Yeah,
Totally.
it's a bit of a juggle, but I feel like we juggle it well because we have a jam and we have that during the week, but we always do it around everyone's schedule. So I feel like our priority is we don't have to shift too much all the time because if we have other things coming up, other commitments, we're not going to be like, let's forgo everything else in our life. But we do, I don't know, it's a bit of a juggle, but I think we do it well. I don't know if that's the best way of saying it, I guess,
And I
but
think as well, like friendship wise, like to be honest, like this is, I'm sure you can agree, like this is like my social thing as well. Like we are all such good friends. Plus, like we love going to gigs, and when we go to gigs, we see so many of our other friends, and we have a fun night. So it's like, as much as like it is hard work to be in a band and stuff, it is so much fun and it's a social thing as well. So I feel like I get that fulfillment in that area as well with that.
that's so true. It accounts for a lot of my social life, speaking personally, but I'm sure for all of us, like it's like, and it's a great thing. It's like the best of both worlds, I guess. Yeah, it's still got its difficulties, but you get the socials, you get the work part, and it's like all in one, which is really nice. Yeah.
Mm.
Exactly. What's your guys' recording process like?
Yeah, I feel like for our recent EP, it was music that we've been playing because we've been around for I'd say a year and a half before we recorded the EP. And it was just music that we've been playing at gigs, music we'd worked on for like the year and a half, like for the whole time we'd been together. And we were like, we got to get it recorded. We finally saved up enough gig money, and we went into the studio and smashed out the EP in about 5 days. I want to say maybe 5 days or so. Smashed it out, recorded it all. We all knew our parts pretty much like the back of our hand because we had been playing it for so long. So we just recorded it, and then basically what happens with that, you go home, you get sent some mixes of each song. We would take notes from the mixes, go back into the studio, fix a couple of things, and then that's go from there. Yeah. But I think,
Yeah,
you
keep going. You keep going. Keep going,
go.
go.
I think in the future though, because we had like such a catalog, back catalog of songs that we have been saving up for. I think it will look different in the future, which is exciting. Like we'll have to be a bit more in our A game with like writing and stuff, like just churning out new stuff in a bit of a faster time, almost.
Yeah, it's a constant learning process. But yeah, with the previous one, it was like it's like a chunk of time for whatever you're recording, whether it's a single or something. It's just like a big chunk, and then you go back and it's a bit of radio silence, and then you get updates, and it's like, oh, it's done. Yay. Yeah.
Totally.
Is there anything you guys are working on at the moment?
Nothing. We're not in the studio yet, but I think that I think we can both say that we're constantly working. So I think it will probably amount in another single soon or another EP. Yeah, we haven't. There's nothing set, but we're always working towards something. So keep your eyes and your ears, supposed to say.
Yeah,
And
totally.
with the EP, what did you guys take away from that? Like anything you would change, anything that like you really like you think you should keep that with you?
Yeah. I feel like this EP was a little bit of an exploration of a few different kind of sounds for us. So like we had the whole we had kind of like a 60s vibe. with Hazy Blue. We had a bit more of like a 90s jangly kind of thing with Overgrown. And just like there's a few different vibes in there. I mean, it's all still Goodbye Butterfly, but I think like viewing the EP as a whole, I think stepping back from it, we can kind of now nitpick, okay, we really like this part from this, we really like this from this, and just refine our sound a little bit more compared to the previous EP. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And also like I think we experimented more and had a lot of fun because also before that we were mainly just recording singles, so it's just like you have the one goal and you're working on one thing for that period of time. But because we had multiple things, like if there was an idea or something that we liked but didn't fit one song, we could kind of meld it into another. And also like we worked with a producer, AJ, and he's wonderful and he's got so many ideas, and he like opened our eyes to little extra things that could really embellish or change the song or add something different. So I think we learned a lot through that process. So it's like nice to know that it's just, even when you're doing something that's a final, like a song is a final and you're trying to make it and put it out there, it's still a work in progress. So I feel like that was a bit of a learning thing, like knowing that there's always something you can add or take away or shift in some shape or form, which was really nice.
Yeah. A question that like sometimes like bands like will be like a bit low key on answering. How do you guys work through as like problems as a band? Like, what do you guys do? Like, if you have an issue?
Yeah, I understand. It's a hard question because it's confronting, but you know what? It's important because one thing I feel like with bands is it is like a family dynamic because you're constantly like you're juggling multiple relationships in one, like a work relationship, a friendship relationship, a sort of family because you're that close, and like it's so many different things. And sometimes you'll be friends and you'll be co-workers outside of the band. Like it's all of these different relationships you have to keep in tow. So I think the main thing that we've always tried to prioritize is just being super like communicative and like open. And the only issues arise, like if issues do arise, they're usually because one of us or multiple of us haven't communicated as well. And we always try to do that, especially as we've like gotten closer, because we've only been a band for what, like 2 years. So it's like we've learned over time that it's all about like we know each other well enough to know that we have each other's like feelings in mind, and it's just, like moving forward and being open with each other is like the main priority, I think. But it's definitely hard. Like it's hard to juggle that in general.
Totally.
So yeah, I get that.
And I think we as a band are pretty good at like, it's just natural that people get upset about stuff. Like that's just life. So like if, one of us has an issue with something, like we are always going to just sit down, be really honest about how we're feeling. And, we're all pretty good listeners as well and are pretty able to compromise on different stuff. So it's, we're nice and open, which is great.
Yeah, I think because we're really close, like friends and girls, like we care so much about each other's feelings that sometimes the problems arise because we care so much and we don't want to talk about stuff. But now we've gotten to that point, I think, where we're a bit more open and like it's really nice. And like we're that close, I think that we know that we have each other's interests. So it's a constant communicative thing. Yeah.
Yeah, communication
Definitely.
is definitely key with those types of things.
Definitely.
Like, gonna change without communication.
Exactly.
Out of all your songs, what ones mean the most to both of you and why?
Ooh. I feel like for me, I feel like Where We Be Tomorrow means the most. I don't know why. I think it's just like one of my favorite. It's a song I wrote in a motel room at the end of a road trip, and I was like really grappling with that. I was like literally just finished high school, went up on a road trip up to New South Wales, came back. It was the last day of the trip, and I was grappling with that feeling of like losing that identity of myself when I was traveling, and I was going back to start uni, and I was just very much like, I want to keep this freedom when I get back home. And I think as well, because I had a lot of friends at the time who were, you know, taking a gap year, and they were just starting that year of you know, travel and fun. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going off to study and just sit at uni all day. Like, I don't want to do this. So I think that was quite a personal one for me. And especially now, because I'm getting closer to the end of my studies, I kind of look back on that time and I'm like, you know, it's not going to be that bad, Alice. But yeah, that's just like personally for me. And I think music wise, I just like that song. Yeah.
Yeah, I love What You Be Tomorrow as well. But my personal favorite has always been Stranger. Um, because I don't know, I don't know, there's multiple things about it that I love, but I feel like also that one was more of a process for us to find the right groove with it, and it was kind of lovely to nurture it in different ways and be like not just totally like oh, this is frustrating, we can't get it right, but we worked at it really hard, and I know all of us did in different ways, and it's ended up being so lovely. And like my personal favorite in the EP, just like listening wise, and like I hear it, I'm like, yes, I love this one. So that one's probably my favorite. I also like in the lyrics, and this is kudos to Alice, like just the imagery, I think it's really beautiful and kind of like longing and really pensive, and yeah, I love that. I think it's definitely one of my favorites for sure. I think, yeah.
My favorite out of all your songs is also Stranger. I actually love it. It's so good.
Yeah,
Absolutely love it.
I think it's a crowd favorite. I'm telling you.
Crowd favorite. Oh, maybe Goodbye Butterflies going in a grunge direction. We don't know. Yeah, that's yeah. I think we move. I don't want to speak too soon, but I feel like we're probably going to move towards that kind of vibe of music.
Moody.
That's like so. I feel like that. I think that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think so too. It's so fun, and also like I like Stranger because it's kind of like to play, at least with my bass line, I feel really dramatic. I'm like, you know, like it's dramatic, and I like being dramatic.
I know. We're emo girls. We're emo girls
Yeah,
at heart.
at heart. Yeah.
We've really tried so long to be this happy little, but no, we're just so moody.
Super moody.
We love that though. Everyone is an emo My Chemical Romance lover at the end of the day, guys.
Exactly. Exactly. It's in our bones, really.
Yeah.
Can't deny it.
What is your guys' dream venue? I know for a lot of like Melbourne-based artists, it's the Forum, but maybe if like it's different for you guys.
Oh, it's
I feel like
hard.
I can't go past the Forum, but
Yeah.
I feel like I want to say more like Dream Festival, if that counts. I feel like I want to say Splendor, but
I'm gonna second that. I'm gonna piggyback on your answer because agreed.
Yeah, but yeah, probably venues Forum, maybe.
Yeah.
But I think it's more festivals. Like I would love to play a festival.
Yeah.
That's the goal. Yeah.
Yeah, and also just like I'm not too well versed on venues overseas, but playing overseas in general is a goal. And I think that would be so sick. Like the UK or what's that?
Madison Square Gardens, like the big one.
That's a big one. For sure. That'd be insane. Yeah, somewhere, just anywhere overseas. I don't care if it's a villa or a big amphitheater or someone's backyard. Just take me over the water and I'll be there.
Yeah, so real for that though. I wish like it would be so cool to see you guys like perform at like a festival like Splendor. I'm actually so depressed that it got cancelled. I like was like screaming. Like all my like half my uni class, because we like talked about it in uni, and they were all like, oh, like it's not that big of a deal, like it wasn't that great of a lineup. And I'm like, I do not care. I'm like, this is Splendor we're talking about, guys. Like,
oh, I'm so with you. So with
it's like
you
not it's like about the fact that this is like the most iconic Australian festival and it got cancelled. It's like, I mean, it's probably the question you're gonna ask about the industry, but it's like you know, it is really worrying for
Mm.
the industry. But
Like,
Yeah, and
into that
they
question.
be they
Oh, sorry.
yes. Oh, sorry. You go, you go.
Oh, I was gonna say, I
Go,
guess we
Queen.
could continue into that question from here.
Mm.
What's your thoughts on the Australian music industry with all this happening, like the festival cancellations and everything?
Yeah, well, exactly what Alice said. It's really worrying to see that like not only are the small ones getting canned, which is like I was it Grooven or was it Spilt Milk? Grooven. Grooven was
Yeah.
cancelled. And then there's also even smaller scale local ones that have been cancelled as well. And then you see Splendor, like the pinnacle of Australian festival, like the whole thing, and it's cancelled. And it's just like, oh, it does make you really worry about um I guess it's a multifaceted problem. There's just multiple reasons why it's been canned, but the fact that there's multiple festivals that are going down that track is just so worrying. And I think like Australia is struggling to get big artists over here, particularly maybe after COVID. I'm not really entirely sure, but it's upsetting because I know there's a lot of bands on there that were Australian bands that we're just picking off, and you book Splendor and you're like, oh my God, like well, no matter what stage you're on, it's like you're there, and then it gets cancelled. It's like what the hell? It's
totally.
upsetting.
And I
Yeah.
think bouncing off what you just said, Eve, with like the big artists, I think it also says a lot about people's tastes these days.
Mm.
It's like it is like I really want the public to be able to like find, you know, listen to local music, listen to Australian music, listen to those smaller artists, because first of all, like it is, I mean, it's obviously great for the artists, but there is just so much good music out there beyond, you know, the big names coming out of like America and all of that.
Yeah.
So much good
100%.
music at home and within your community, like that needs to be supported.
Yeah, and even what you said with just our generation, like where our generation is leaning musically, I feel like it is kind of worrying to see that um a lot of people, not everyone by any means, but a lot of people are not as interested in bands or solo artists anymore, that like just indie music or that sort of thing. They're more so leaning towards like techno and DJ sets and those sorts of things, which is great. Honestly, great music. I've been to many events that are that sort of music and it's wonderful, but it's like overwhelming how many more people are attracted to that compared to your local band or the Australian bands or like any of that sort. So it is hard to see that kind of come to fruition a bit. I don't know. Yeah.
I think just as well, like I don't know, I just remember I went to BTV this year.
Mm.
There was the big main stage with like, you know, bands, all of that. During the day,
Yeah.
I think I saw about 10 people there. Like it was just so
Mm.
upsetting.
Yeah, and it was the main stage. Crazy.
Yeah, it was really,
Crazy.
really upsetting. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
taste is
You'd walk past and you would say I don't remember which artist, it was a female artist, but I remember walking past and no one was out the front. Everyone was at it was probably Dom Dollar or something, like the secret set, but absolutely no one was watching this artist on the main stage. And I was thinking, oh my goodness, like that's so it's just scary to see, I guess. Yeah.
No, it's definitely worrying. Like it's been like that for I feel like this entire year it's definitely like gotten like worse, I feel like. Like you barely see
Mhm.
like people going to gigs anymore. Like it's so upsetting. And it's just like every time I go to a gig, I feel like less and less more people like go and I'm just like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, it's so strange. It's a weird direction that everyone's going with. Yeah,
to
with
be fair
that.
as well, in this economy, it's
Mm.
just expensive as well to go out and go to gigs, which
Mm,
is,
Yeah.
you know, that's a
yeah.
spanner in the works. Let alone like, you know, getting the ticket, let alone Ubering there, buying drinks, all of that. It's just expensive.
Yeah, it's really hard. It makes it so much harder to, yeah, go to gigs in general.
What advice do you guys have for artists out there?
Ooh. I feel
It's a
like I
tough
should be
one.
taking advice and not giving it.
Same.
Um, just do it. Like, you know, I feel like no, you like you just gotta put yourself out there, because if you don't put yourself out there, no one else is going to. People care way too much about themselves to care about you. So just do what you want to do. Do it boldly
Yeah.
and do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I speak from also that's so true. And also I think on that same page, like don't nitpick yourself too much, because I think you get a lot of people get so caught up, and this is me included, in the detail or like what you're doing wrong or the mistakes or the process, and get stuck in that for a long time or longer than they could. And then instead of like releasing something or putting something out there or just doing something, just putting it out, they get stuck on the little bits, which is great if you want to make something perfect, but nothing's going to be entirely perfect. So you just got to get past your own sort of self-doubt, I guess, to put things out. I think that's the main thing.
Totally true. I completely agree. And also, lastly, do you guys have anything to say to your fans, and also anything you want to promote or put out there? Any upcoming gigs, anything?
Oh.
Well, everyone that comes to our shows, we love you. So that's what I want to say. Love you all. I guess keep your eye out. There's exciting things that we're talking about and working on and working towards. We're always trying to keep momentum. So there's always going to be something coming up that's exciting, even if we don't divulge what. Just know that it's happening. We behind the scenes. But we also have a show on August 8th, which is coming up. I don't know if this is going to be out by then, but if it is, that's exciting. So definitely come to that. So the Gas Meter with Dear Sunday. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. Come to a show and meet us, talk to us. We're really nice.
Yeah.
Well,
We love to chat.
You guys doing the show. Hopefully I could come to one soon. I'll try coming to the one on the 8th. If I'm not working a shift, I'm gonna be there. I'll find a way.
Yay!
If I'm not working, I will be there. I will make it.
Yes, please. Text us.
Yes, I
Text
will.
us.
Whenever I get like tickets, I'll message you. I will be there.
Yay! Beautiful. I'm so excited.
Anyway,
Yay.
I'm gonna cut it off now before Zoom like cuts this off. But thank you guys so much for like saying yes to this and doing it. Like I hope to see you guys in person someday. And to the people watching, thanks so much for watching. This has been Bands and Fans, and bye.
Bye.